K975, home to the morning hustle. Ayeeedubb is 2IB. And I have a very special guest in the building. Y'all give it up for Nance.
Let's go. Let's go.
How you doing? How you living?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Welcome to the studio and the station.
Love it.
Not your first time.
Not my first time, but yeah. First time with you, so it's cool.
So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Period. So we got a lot to talk about. I know you're off of dropping an album.
Mm-hmm.
You're off of having a beef with Drake. You're off
That's
of
crazy.
That's crazy. You got a lot of stuff going on. But I want to start from the very beginning. So like, how'd you get into like doing music? Period.
So I mean, just hip hop. My brother was always listening to it, so I kind of grew up around it.
Mm-hmm.
And then middle school, started freestyling, which is kind of wild. So I was freestyling, started doing mixtapes in high school, and then it kind of went on from there.
You doing mixtapes?
Yeah.
So like,
burn the CDs, sell it at school.
Yeah, and you selling it too?
Yeah.
How much are you selling it for?
$4.
Okay.
Because that was the amount that lunch was. So I was trying to hustle people out of their lunch at the time.
So it was either eat or listen to Nance's album.
I made $64 one day, so, you know.
In one day?
Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
Wake Forest, Roseville.
Where? So in Roseville?
It's in Wake Forest, but now there's two different schools, Wake Forest and Roseville High School. But I was Wake Forest, Roseville.
Okay.
Interesting situation, but yeah.
I know nothing about Wake Forest, so it's all new to me.
Damn.
I know.
Crazy.
Wake Forest nice?
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like Raleigh better?
So when I was growing up, we had to come to Raleigh for everything because Wake Forest was kind of like a small town vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So I always just kind of considered it as one big thing, like it was Raleigh. But now it's like its own thing now. It's so big. It's so different from like when I grew up. So it's cool though. It's just busy.
I think I got like one friend that stays like in Wake Forest, and every time I go over there, which is kind of rare, it'd be like, you know, shopping centers, and it'd be busy, and it'd be traffic, and people would be like, Wake Forest is never like that.
It's like that all the time now.
Yeah.
Because my mom lives there, and when I drive to see her, it's like a mission. Capitol Boulevard sucks. And
oh my gosh. Yeah, if someone says it's on Capitol Boulevard, I'm like, I gotta allot like 30 to plus minutes just to get over there because I'm on like Cary side, so that's a trip for me to go to Wake Forest from like Cary. So, but enough telling my business of where I live. But so in music, well, starting out in school, were you the only one in your family doing music? Like, was it weird for you to do music, like be the only one, or is there people who do music? Like
immediate family, yes. I did have like an uncle that did music. He had a little studio in his house too. So, but other than that, yeah, I mean, never really thought about it like that, but yeah. First, my dad was always really big into music, like, and he was actually like a dancer, like a disco dancer.
Ooh, cool. Okay.
Like, yeah, back in the day, so. Maybe that's kind of like where music and art comes from. He was also a painter as well, so maybe that's where it comes from.
So you got his creative side, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So then people are like, so it's not like black sheep in the family because someone else was like doing stuff like this, right? Or you know, he wasn't rapping, but is it kind of like?
I mean, well, so my parents were divorced at the time where I really started rapping. So I was with my mom, and that was very much so like confusing for her at first, especially because like at the time she didn't understand rap, and I had to kind of like, she knew I listened to Eminem and stuff, and she's like, I don't know about all that, but I wasn't like rapping like that. I was more influenced by like, you know, Kanye and Lupe and stuff. So once I really showed her like, hey, this is the type of music like I'm making and that I'm interested in, even though it's under like the hip hop umbrella. Especially just like with media at the time, like it wasn't like properly put out there, like the different styles of rap, I guess you could say, for like a white mom in the suburbs, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so she was confused. But I mean, once she saw what I was doing, she was cool with it.
Do you have like a certain moment where you're like, that you loved hip hop or like loved like rap and stuff? That you can like remember, you're like, oh my God, it's so cool, or like I love how this sounds. Do you have like a memory of that?
Definitely like first hearing Kanye and like Lupe Fiasco, that whole run of like, it was like 2007, 2008, 2009, like I was really getting into those guys. And at the time I really started like understanding the lyrics and like what they were rapping about. You know, before it was like, oh, does this sound good? Okay, cool, I'm listening. But then it was like I was really diving into their catalogs and understanding their stories and whatnot. So I think it was like around that moment. Yeah.
You mentioned Kanye. Are you like kind of like, are you still a Kanye fan?
Have I mentioned Kanye a lot?
Just a little bit, maybe once or twice.
Am I still a fan? You trying to get me canceled?
I mean,
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the music.
Oh, ooh, you media trained.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've been
I like
working
that.
on it. It's not my first time here.
Oh, okay, period. Let's see. So okay, doing music in school and making the tapes. You were just recording at home.
Mm-hmm. So I was using a USB mic.
Okay.
It sounded horrible, but we made it work.
Okay,
you know?
people bought it. So
yeah. Which is crazy. Since my album came out a couple weeks ago, I've had 2 people send me pictures of my old mixtapes from high school, like CDs that they found in their house.
Really?
Yeah, which is insane.
Oh my God! Speaking of, someone showed me an old picture of you and one of your and one of your friends. Is a long time ago. Now that you brought that up, but I was like, wow, so like I can just picture the difference.
Who showed a picture of me? What's going on?
There's a picture of you somewhere. It may have been on Twitter or X, maybe.
Okay.
Do you know what picture I'm talking about?
Did I have longer hair?
You had like a little Justin Bieber wave.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's set this straight. I had the Justin Bieber haircut before Justin Bieber. So I was more like, you know, I was ahead of the trend.
You was the original.
And then once he got on, I was like, all right, I got to switch this up.
Did you go spiky?
No, I just went to kind of like what I have now, like short, like a little fade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You was a bit...
I had the spikes when I was a kid, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta respect it. So you made the tape in the house. You said it sounded bad, but people was buying it. So were you popular in school?
I just kind of like hung out with everybody. I didn't really have, like, I had like my group of friends, but I don't know. I was into so many different things, like skateboarding, rap, Pokemon. So I was like, I don't know. I was hanging out with everybody. So I guess you could say, I don't like to like say popular, just more like I was just cool with everybody, you know? Just
well known? Can we say well known?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
that
well
works.
known.
But
Okay.
my school wasn't like crazy. I mean, it was kind of big, so.
Okay, so well known in a big, huge high school.
Potentially,
yeah. Okay. So now that we're advancing and we're the Nance that we are here today, right? How has the music scene been for you now? Like, you're actually, putting out music. It's, you're grown up and stuff now. So how is it now? They treating you good? Like, how is it?
Yeah, I think, especially like over the past year or 2, I feel like I've sonically grown into like what I want to sound like. And just kind of like, when we're growing up, we have like a certain taste of like what we're into art-wise. Like, you could say for me it was Kanye, and I wanted to like be like those guys, right? And my music at the time didn't sound like that, but now I feel like my music is so much better, and I've just grown as an artist, Like, I'm actually into my music now. I'll roll around listening to it sometimes, but it's more of like from a perspective of like, I'm critiquing it and figuring out what I could do better, but I still enjoy it, So, yeah.
What's like the best part about being an artist? Is it like getting your feelings out? Is it like the performing aspect? Do you have music videos out?
Yeah.
Is it doing music videos and like doing treatments or like what is it? What's the best part of it?
Wow. I really, performing used to be my favorite, but now it's more the creative aspect of it all and just figuring out how to market everything. That's always fun for me. Like, like writing a song, recording it, making sure it sounds good, and then figuring out, okay, where does this fit on an album and how can I market this? So I would say like the whole creative process.
I think that's kind of like a favorite part. Like, of course, I don't do music, but I do radio, of course. And you talked about earlier off air about like making content and reels and stuff. And I do think it is like the creative part thing for everybody because I feel like it's an outlet.
Yeah,
you're able to like, put it out there, thanks to Instagram and social media, giving us a chance to put these videos out or things like that. But so yeah, creative like all day. Are you constantly thinking of things all the time or like, cause I feel like I'm always on go of something.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always trying to figure out just ways to market things in general, even if it's not even my own stuff. Like I'm constantly thinking of new ideas. Yeah, I think that's a problem as well, because like sometimes it's hard to sleep. It's hard to like turn it off at night, you know. So
Yeah, I'm always like, I think the couple stuff that I've posted, people be like, "Is it hard for you to think of that stuff?" And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm always thinking of something,
Yeah.
or a lot of my stuff be recycled ideas. I think creative is like, I know
not
it's
even original.
It's original when I put a twist on it, but it's like, a lot of
Wow.
it's just like, people did that a long time ago. I'm just making it refresh. That's a little secret. But yeah,
I'm gonna take that into account when when I make my next rollout of content.
just recycle stuff. Yeah, that's the key. Don't work too hard. Work smarter, not harder, okay?
I feel you.
Okay, period. So then, let's see. So speaking of the album, we got Everyday Dream that came out
September 22nd.
September 22nd. Which, okay, do you want to talk about the Drake situation?
Let's talk about the beef.
Let's talk about the beef. Because he was supposed to drop it on September 22nd, of course. And then how are you feeling like as an artist? Because a lot of people like, even, we don't want to drop on the same day as somebody, or like we feel like some other artists may do better than us, or we're competing with like somebody else that we may know and things like that when they drop a single. So how are you feeling? We're like, did you ever want to change it? Or what you going through?
So like originally I felt like it was gonna happen because everybody was talking about a new Drake album coming. I'm like, it might be the same day as mine. And then a picture comes out of him like, and he has like 9/22 like in his hair, and I'm like, oh no, it's happening. So then, literally like a couple hours later, he puts out a video saying it's coming out 9/22, and I text my like friend who produced my whole album, and he's like, dang, do you want to change the date? I'm like, no, this is awesome, because I don't know, like at first I was like, wow, this sucks, but then I realized I could just use it to my advantage and make some funny content about it. So yeah, that's how it went.
Were you looking at me when I was going over there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
My bad.
Okay, so yeah. So you decided to keep the day.
Decided to keep the day.
And it worked out.
What's up?
It worked out? Cause
Yeah, he changed it.
Scared.
But I made some funny like videos with it. I thought it was pretty funny, so.
Did you think of those videos? Because you shot them out in LA?
Yeah.
With
You tracking
Linus?
me? You know where I'm going?
I follow you. I mean, hello.
Yeah, so but I shot those in LA with my friend Linus, and we were just kind of like having fun, making content, and just kind of like just a funny idea, We were actually, it started with him. He picked me up from the airport, and we're in the car, and he literally started like making those same jokes from the video, and it was like real. And I'm like, dude, this is hilarious though. We should like make a skit, about you saying you're gonna listen to Drake instead of me. And so yeah, it worked out.
I think a lot of people liked it too.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. And then, like, again, you're in LA, you're like on mountains and all the palm trees, whatever you got going on. So it already looked like kind of like fancy, like how a celebrity would do. So,
dang, trying to do my thing.
Yeah.
make some movies.
Yeah. So, okay, back to the album. Long awaited. How long people been waiting for the album?
About 5 years. Originally, I, started working on it right after my first album, and so many things happened. Pandemic. My grandma and my dad both passed away in the same year in 2019. So that was like right before the pandemic. And I had a batch of songs that I was like, okay, this is going to be Everyday Dream. And once all of those things happened, I ended up, switching it. Like, I scrapped most of the songs, and there's a few that were like still stayed on the album, but I just kind of wanted to write something new. So yeah.
So a 5-year gap is it's a bit of time.
Yeah.
So were you, and I feel like you may have been teasing this album for like a while. I know you was dropping singles like in between, and some of the singles ended up being on the album. Were you ever like kind of nervous to put out this album because it's been so long and like the sound has changed a little bit, or?
So yeah, I dropped singles like every year, I think, between that time. So it wasn't like I was like fully gone and like, I popped back up again. But yeah, I was a little nervous about, because the album's so vulnerable. I was kind of nervous to put that out there. And once I put out a few singles that were like showing that side of me, I realized, I realized like, it's not that scary. I mean, it still is scary to put yourself out there, but I feel like the response and the feedback was so good for me personally that I was like, okay, cool. People want more of this side of me as far as music goes. So.
And to speak about the vulnerability part, is it kind of tough or awkward? Like, because I feel like, okay, we're in Raleigh. We have like the same like people who do music and do our friends who do music and stuff. And it's like, I'm sure maybe you probably, if you're close friends, you talk to them about this stuff. But other people who like, you really like, we can talk to you after your show and we can hear what you're like going through or like type of thing. Is that ever kind of like worrisome compared to like, oh, we can hear Drake drama or whoever drama, but like, we ain't never gonna come address Drake about anything, you know what I'm saying? So is that ever kind of like, Nance will. So is it kind of like tough being vulnerable locally doing music because people can talk, have a narrative, be on like, I don't know, Raleigh 919 gossip page or something, and
they have that.
Maybe is that kind of tough though?
Yeah, I mean, I have a show next month, like for the album, and I'm rehearsing the songs, and you know, it's just so interesting to perform songs that are so personal, but also like telling my story in a way where it's like I'm kind of putting myself really out there, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of difficult because you don't want to be judged for it, like especially when you're putting out like some of your darker feelings. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I felt like the day I put out the album, I felt like one of my friends described it to me as like, you're like just fully out there like naked right now. Mm-hmm. Like, because I was so nervous. I remember I was like out celebrating with some friends, and I don't know, I just couldn't even focus on the moment, and like we had some champagne and stuff, and it was just tough to like, hey, let me just enjoy this. I was so nervous, and like, but I mean, overall, I mean, it's good. I know it sounds like all depressing, but
it's a little bit, but okay. But now it's kind of like a relief almost, or kind of like it's all out.
It's a relief. A lot of my friends told me, like people I worked on the album with, they were telling me like, I think you're gonna be, like telling me like you're gonna be surprised by the feedback and how people respond to it. Mm-hmm. Because I was nervous, but yeah, I was very surprised. Like I got so many cool messages about people really relating to the songs, and that's happened before with my music, but I feel like this was on a different level.
Mm-hmm. Because I feel like you being, like you said, more vulnerable, and like it's kind of like your people are like saying something positive and like encouraging you and stuff. So it's kind of like it evens out type of thing. And also, since the album is really, really well put together, I'm sure like I think there's a producer that you always use.
So my friend Fourth Shift, we've been working together since like 2015. Mm-hmm. So he produced my first album too. But I mean, we really tapped in, and you know, I feel like I was able to communicate exactly what I wanted. And he's just super talented, so.
And it gives you that Nance sound and that Nance quality.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He knows what I'm trying to do.
Okay. Well, that's always good, like having like a good like working relationship with somebody who's like, you know, making you sound good and making like your art and your music sound good. Because I'm like, listening to the album, and it was like, I'm trying to think, like, it was just like attention to detail, where it's like some people will just lay their song down, but it's no like, if they want to do ad-libs or they want to like layer their vocals or like have a different, I don't know, pitch, reverb, or whatever y'all artists put together. So it's like, I appreciate the art when people are like actually like add to their music and make it sound like it would be on the radio, or you know, a big artist. That's why we are here today. And Can I Stand Fire? We are here. And then, okay, you bring up the first album, No Excuses, which is in 2018, and I was telling you before off air, where it's like it's completely different sound. So, and I know like it's a 5-year gap and things have happened, like the pandemic and like, you know, losing family and things like that. So was there any other big difference between like the Nance in 2018 and Nance now that like was like, okay, do you cringe at your old work type of thing? Or is this like, you know, just newer, improved, or like, what was like the biggest differences going on besides like the stuff you touched on?
I cringe at my old work like every now and then. I try not to be too critical of it. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I can just listen to it and be like, okay, let me improve. But I'm also not like riding around listening to the old me, you know. So I don't really have that much of an opportunity to cringe at myself. But what was the question? I'm sorry.
It's kind of like, what's like the big difference between like 2018, like No Excuses, and then the Everyday Dream? Like you can say like the biggest difference, like sonically, lyrically,
Man,
things
I feel
like
like
that.
this is just more me and honest. Yeah, it's crazy because like that's what my friends like. I'll give you a story. So after No Excuses, I was just like working on a bunch of music, and Pat Jr. came to the studio one day, and Fourth Shift played him a song that we made, and it's called Hope in Time. I'm being like super vulnerable, and I didn't even want to be in the room for him to hear it because I was like, I can't do this. So I walked out of the room, and I come back in, and Pat's like, where's this been? Like, what are you doing? This is it. Like, you need to do this. And yeah, I don't know. Once I saw his reaction to it, I was like, okay, let me really double down and do this. So.
Yeah, shout out to Pat because when he had his listening party, he was mentioning about, I don't know what song he did on Everyday Dream, but he said he did some song. Was it?
He did the Watch Out, which is the last song, and then Out the Way with 3 a.m. Sound.
Yeah, so he was saying, like, it was, again, there's some of your best stuff, and, like, he was like, you're so impressed, and, you know, like, and he even said it in the listening session too about like
he was gassing me up. I was like, wow. I'm like, this event's supposed to be about you. Why are you talking about me?
That's what I said. I was like, hello, I'm here for this too. Like, we're supposed to be getting this job done. But no, so shout out to Pat. He's gonna be here Wednesday actually, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Doing his interview. So
love it. Because
when I told him that I was doing your interview, he was like, I said, oh, okay, you're next, and you're Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so there's one song on Everyday Dream. I think it's called Ready?
Yeah.
And I was listening to that. I think that's really vulnerable. You think it's your most vulnerable? Because you were talking about...
It's crazy. That's the first song I recorded for the album.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I think I wrote the first verse. It was a couple years ago, and I recorded it then, and then I came back and... I don't know. I really lived and figured out what I wanted to say in the second verse. I really took my time with that one. But yeah, I feel like that, man, all of them are pretty vulnerable, honestly. The intro's pretty vulnerable. But yeah, I would say Ready's up there.
Yeah.
It's in the top 11 vulnerable songs. There's only 11 tracks, but yeah, it's in the top 11.
What's your favorite song on the album? Like your personal favorite?
Ready. Yeah.
Really?
I really like Ready, and I like Take My Time.
Yeah. Take My Time is good too. Do you have your set list ready for your show?
Yeah, I got it ready.
Are you doing the whole album? Or are you going to do...
pieces of every song, but, you know, I definitely want to fit in some of my older music as well, and maybe some unreleased stuff. We're still working on it, so... But yeah, for the most part, the whole album.
Okay. So, yeah, show is November 10th at the Poorhouse.
Yep.
And you have, it's you, Madrique, Justo Mobbin, and 3 a.m., right?
And
Lauren.
Yeah. I was about to, dang, how are you going to forget Lauren like that?
I don't know. The name change still be messing me up. I just got to get it right. But, yeah. So, and I want to talk about, like, your performing because I feel like you don't perform a lot. And it's funny that you said you actually like performing earlier in the interview because I feel like, no, I've never seen you perform.
Wow, really? Okay.
No, so it's never to be the first. But I wanted to say, because, like, and I feel like a lot of artists around here do perform a lot, where it's, like, not in a bad way, but it can kind of get, like, I'll see you at the next show because I know you're going to perform next week. Is there, like, a reason of why, like, you know, it's almost a rarity to see Nance perform is what I'm trying to say. It's rare,
try to make
scarce.
it exclusive.
Yeah, are you really? Or is it like a thing going on?
So, it's interesting because, like, 2018... Honestly, like 2015, 2018, I felt like I performed a lot. I used to headline like once or twice a year in Raleigh. I put together my own show. But yeah, then honestly, everything comes back to the pandemic. So the pandemic came around. Obviously, there's no shows. And then once we got back into like doing shows, I wanted to make sure my album was done. And that's how I wanted to do shows again. So I feel like maybe it's just like a post-pandemic, like, that's why it hasn't been so many shows. I used to do a lot more. But, yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to do more, but it would be cool to do it in different places, not just, like, here every time. Yeah.
Because I want to say, I was like, no shade to showcases, but I feel like your past a showcase
Yeah.
level. I mean, you were at, what was it, In the Fest? That one. You're at the Poorhouse, so that's already a big venue too, and things like that. So, do you ever get pressured to like, oh, maybe I should perform because everybody else is somewhere, or is you just kind of like, I'll just wait my time?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a part of my strategy to be like, okay, if I'm gonna do a show, I'm a headline, and I'd rather bring all my people there and do this instead of just like spreading myself out too much. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing, but sometimes I want to perform more. I like performing. It'll be cool to have opportunities. Like I used to get a lot of opportunities as far as like opening up for touring acts locally when they would come to town. So, but that's kind of tough now as far as like live shows go locally. There's not a lot of people coming to town, I feel like. As far as like at a level, like I was opening up for guys like Kyle. Who else? I opened up for Mobb Deep one time.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
Interesting, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, their markets were like, it's like 250 to 400 people. A lot of shows go to the Ritz, and it's like thousands of people, and they already have like their openers set up that are touring with them. Yeah, so.
That is right.
I feel like shows have kind of changed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
There's been a little shifts and things like that. Definitely due to pandemic, I feel like. But I remember people like, I don't know, people paying to perform, people like paying to open up and then getting scammed, or like just different things. Like music industry can be such like a shady business type of thing. Have you experienced like a shady thing, or has it been kind of like, you don't got to air nothing out, but like, have you ever?
You got me putting all my business out there. Man, one time I paid for a Drake verse and I never got it.
You're lying. I was about to say, I was like, oh, this got money, y'all. This got money.
Man, I don't know. There's always little situations out there, but nothing, not like a crazy scam. Like, I never like paid for a verse and never got it or something.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good.
You're in the clear.
Yeah.
And we're not going to speak it into existence either. So you're good. You're good.
That's
you're good.
a crazy question.
I mean, you ever been scammed?
You never know. At least your chance to air them out.
And then people listen to this and they go, okay, he's easy to scam. We'll get him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're media trained, so you should know how to work around that question. But let's see. Okay, so album is out now. You got the show coming out November 10th. What is next? Are you going to chill the rest of this year, this quarter? And like, what's up for 2024? What you going to do?
I have a bunch of songs, so I definitely want to get back in the swing and things and probably release stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of just living and making it happen. I don't know. Things change so much. It's like depending on how I feel. Like I have a bunch of songs, and it's just about when do I want to put them out, really. So
how many songs are you sitting on? Enough for like another album?
So a lot of it's like super unfinished, but I have like the beats and everything, and some of them verses and hooks. So
okay,
yeah.
Would you do a deluxe Everyday Dream?
I thought about it. I thought about throwing like 4 new songs at the end. Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah.
That's very, elite of an artist when they do a deluxe.
Yeah,
I feel like
if you're like beefing with Drake and stuff, I feel like you gotta have like a deluxe.
You got to.
Yeah.
It's only right. So yeah, you do it before the year is up? You gotta do it before the year is up.
What if I did it next year? Brought people back.
I mean,
that's one thing too. Like I want to promote these songs for a long time. Like I don't want to just like put them out there and say, okay, bye, it's there. Like I want to breathe new life into the songs with, whether it's like videos or maybe remixes and sometimes I don't know. I'm just brainstorming on the spot. But yeah, I've been thinking of some ideas. So
okay, well, we are excited to see what you come up with. And like I say, I'll be at the show. Ooh, I still gotta get a ticket.
I got you.
Okay, good.
You're on the
Just making
list.
sure. That's why I brought you in here today.
My guest list is only one person, and it's you. So we got it.
Thank you so much. So yeah, I'll be there. Did I be there on time?
Wait, what?
Do I be on time at the show? Can I come late? Like, can I just roll in?
You got to at least see my set.
What time do you go on?
I'm not sure yet. But also Lauren's performing and Madrid. Why would you be late?
But you gave me the free ticket. They ain't give me no free ticket.
We're all pitching in to make sure it happens.
Oh, okay. I'll be there on time then. I'll make it work. What time it start? What time?
Doors at 8, show at 9.
Doors at 8, show at 9. Where can they go to get tickets? Where can they go to follow you, know all your music, and get to know the words for all the songs you perform in? Where can people follow
Poorhouse
you at?
websites where you can get tickets. Add Nance on Instagram. That's it. Just Nance, Nance. Man, there's so many social media platforms now. What am I on everything else?
You gotta do X. You gotta do Threads.
I am Nance on this. This is actually my first time promoting X.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's time we dropped the Twitter. We gotta go to X.
Yeah.
So
Nance raps on X. That sounds so crazy saying.
I know.
I am Nance on TikTok. Yeah, that's everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still on Threads? You were a big advocate for Threads.
Yeah, I was. I mean, it kind of fell off.
I ain't post nothing in like.
I'm gonna post something tonight. I'm gonna post this. I'm
You
gonna
gotta
take
post
a picture over
interview.
there, and yeah, we'll post that.
Yeah, you go viral for sure.
Let's do it.
Off of this one. So I love it. So, well, Nance, thank you so much for coming to the station and doing this interview and talking with me. And then, yeah, you'll be back, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For the next album and the next tour.
5 more years.
5 more. We'll see you in 5 more years.
Yeah.
Love it. Nance, thank you so much. And keep it locked to Kate 97.5. Let me save this.
Did the camera record the whole time?
Yeah, hopefully. Oh.